3, 2, 1.
Good everyone, GarageKing here, and when I was reviewing the Dad's Flyer, the June 2024 flyer, which is still on sale, well, we all found these Snap-on Formula 1920 wipes. They are on sale right now for $41.50, so if you don't want to use that cheap Subway napkin at work, well, you know what? One of my viewers suggested the tub of towels. So after going through my comments, you know what? I decided it is definitely worth doing a comparison video. There appeared to be interest in this. So first things first, the tub of towels is about half the price, is about $20. The Snap-on, you're paying about $40, and look at the size difference. So just so you're aware, you're paying twice as much and you're probably getting less than half, but are they worth it? So direction is not that hard. You just pull them from the top, from the pre-cut slot, replace cover, and that is it. Now, it does say not for recommended use on windows, glass, or acrylic-based products. Now, in case of emergency, remove any contact lenses and flush eyes with a copious amount of water for several minutes. So we just don't want to get it in the eyes. Now, what's interesting is it does say removes grease, oil, and tar, food and drink stains, permanent marker paints, caulks, and silicones, and to use it on auto interior and exterior, fabric and carpet, walls and floors, countertops, paint brushes, rollers, and pads. And also, it does say it is great on hands, and it even has some vitamin E on it. Now, Snap-on Formula 1920, very different. Anyway, it says these steel wipes are a 3-in-1 solution to effectively clean, lubricate, and prevent rust. With this one-step solution, remove oils, dirt, metal shavings, and other contaminants from your tools. Each wipe is pre-saturated and provides a light, non-greasy coating that lubricates and prevents rust from moving parts, tool surfaces, grips, and handles. Snap-on Formula 1920 steel wipes will not harm the tool, grip handles, or any other polymers or synthetic surfaces. All right, everyone, so that was a mouthful. So anyway, at least you know I can read well. Let's just read the directions really quickly. So we're gonna apply a liberal coating of the solution via the wipes to all surfaces of your tool and allow 2 to 5 minutes, that's important, for the product to break down the dirt and grime. Use a brush to remove dirt if needed. Wipe away the excess product to leave behind a light, non-greasy finish to protect your investment. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to leave it on for a little bit and we're going to see just how well it can do. All right, so we have the tub of towels. First, the Snap-on 1920 wipes. And if you're wondering, YouTube did ask me if I agree or disagree that my life as a creator is close to ideal. And you know what? At this time, it's not bad. Let's just leave it at that. So the first test we're gonna do is how do they do on the human hand? Okay, so the tub of towels, actually, you know what? I'm very satisfied. They smell good and they work really well on my hand. Next up is the Snap-on. So let's open it up and get it all ready, and we're gonna pull one out, and you can see right away, big difference here. They are much smaller wipes, but if we go back to the precautions, it says do not mix with any chemicals, do not get in the eyes, on skin, on clothing, do not swallow, do not breathe fumes, wear impervious gloves and safety glasses, store in a cool place, keep closed. And then it gives you first aid directions. So we're gonna do a scientific experiment here. As a mechanic, I am exposed to a lot of chemicals, so how do they actually feel on my hands? One time's not gonna kill me, I don't think. Well, it's just oily, and you're gonna have to clean your hands after, so it just feels like you get oil on your hands. And I'm actually going to use a tub of towels to clean my hands off, and the tub of towels did a fantastic job of cleaning my hands. So, okay, so now we know these Snap-on Formula 1920 wipes are not for use on skin. So they gotta be on use for something else, so we're gonna do some more tests here. Now, here's how they look really up close, and I gotta say, props to the cameraman for getting some good shots here. They actually look like they're a very similar material, and because I did the test on my hands, I can tell you they feel very similar. It's just, they smell very different, I'll tell you that, and they work very differently. But the weight, the feel, and the strength of the fabric are very, very close. So the first test we're gonna do is going to be the rubber mat on the workshop floor. It's got a lot of grease, a lot of dirt on it, and we're gonna see which one works better. Now take note, you can see the Snap-on second square that I pulled out was quite a bit larger than the first square. So I don't know if they're just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger as I pull them out. I don't know, but you can see the second square is definitely bigger, or maybe they just alternate back and forth. Let's just say they probably alternate back and forth. Now, if you remember in the Snap-on directions, it said to leave for 3 minutes and then rub again. I guess they wanted that solution to sort of soak in, so we are leaving it for a few minutes. it's just time elapsed, but trust me, I left it for a few minutes, and now you can see I'm wiping it up, and it's definitely taking off the grease. Now for the tub of towels, if you were focusing on that left side for a bit during that 3 minutes, you would have seen the solution actually evaporate. So it does evaporate, whereas on the Snap-on, it does not evaporate, and there is just an oily surface that does stay. So that was kind of interesting. Now here's what happened after I cleaned it. Now, you know what? I was thinking after the fact, this is not a good test, and I'll tell you why. It's because I should have used more squares with the Snap-on. They were just absorbing so much dirt, they were getting dirty. So I did go back later on. I was just curious, and this was already filmed. And anyway, take my word for it. If you use enough squares, you can get it just as clean. The problem is it's going to be very slippery, and then you still have to take that extra residue off that the Snap-on will leave behind. And you know what? You can do it with the tub of towels. The tub of towels will take that extra residue off. Anyway, you can see there's the tape. I pulled it off. So this one was not so good of a test. And like I said, it just the residue was left. So I think what they're designed for is steel. So here you can see I have two sockets. They are quite dirty. They're pretty much equally dirty. And we're going to do a test, and we are going to clean them both and just see what happens. So first up is the Snap-on socket. And I know it says leave it for 3 minutes, so you can trust me. I actually gave it a wipe. I'm just speeding up the video, and I left it for a few minutes, and then I'm giving it a second wipe. And on the Snap-on, I actually need a second square just because they are smaller squares. So anyway, now is a time I can talk to you all. If you have any questions about this video or anything I could maybe do better or tests, I guess, let me know. I'm just sort of freewheeling it here. Now you can see I'm using the tub of towels on the other socket, and I found it cleaned, you know, really, really well, but sort of in a different way. So let's examine them a little bit closer here. So you can see the socket is very dry, and if we examine it close, you know what? It did a pretty darn good job of cleaning it. Now let's go over to the Snap-on socket. And here is our Snap-on socket, and you can see it looks pretty shiny. It definitely has a coating on it, that's for sure. So inside this socket was, I would say, equally dirty, if not probably dirtier. I used this one more. I believe this one was a 36 mil. It actually took out some of the rust. You can see at the bottom of the rust of the channels there, of the flank drive, some of the rust is gone. So I thought that the Snap-on ones, believe it or not, did a better job of cleaning the steel, especially when there was rust. At least that was just my take. Now, we can give the socket a wipe off with a blue rag there, and you can see just a little bit of oil came off, not really too much. So this oil solution or coating, whatever, does kind of stay on it. It doesn't really wipe off that easily. And if we grab them with the bare hands there, you can see after I've given it another couple wipes, a lot of it, in fact, does come off, but you can't see it with the video, but I can still feel it. And that's providing the tool with some protection. So what did I really think of these at the end of the day? You know, I think for general shop towels, you want the tub of towels. Do not buy these Snap-on ones. Just don't buy them. Tub of towels is great. I think the Snap-on ones have their place, but it's really only for like sockets and stuff where, you know, you want that protective coating. Now, if you're using the socket all the time, you don't need it anyway. I think it would be good for tools you just don't use very often, or perhaps if we look at my pliers drawer, maybe, you know, you could give your pliers a coat, especially the ones that you don't use too often. That's really where I think that these would come in handy. So overall, my impressions, yeah, they're good. They clean really well, and they provide a coating, but they're not your everyday wipes, and they definitely have a place in the shop perhaps. But if you're looking to buy those everyday wipes that's just great on your hands, great on sort of doing everything, then tub of towels is what I would do. If you're looking to protect stuff that you don't use often, like for example, what I'm showing right here, then the Snap-on wipes, the Formula 1920 wipes would be good, and you can just leave them to get protected. Anyway, that's it for the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I don't know how else I could have maybe done it better. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, anything like that, please leave them below. That's it for this one. GarageKing over and out, and hope to see you all again soon. Thanks.